Teresa's face was shocked. This is not good. The entire guild's large group has been hijacked as hostages. As for what happened, we have to go back 2 hours ago. At that time, a silver-haired man driving a steel golem approached Phoenix Guild, ignoring the shocked looks of everyone. He gracefully landed and said, "Greetings, humans. I am Belus. I am a vampire who serves the true ancestor." Song Jigwa immediately swung his sword to put it on Belus's neck, but Belus just coldly smiled and put his finger on the sword's tip, cutting open the skin. In an instant, blood dripped to the ground. DD, skill, Bloodfest has been activated, Belus said as countless blood spread everywhere and engulfed his comrades' bodies, eventually gathering in his hands. The vampire looked at them with red eyes and said in a cold voice, oh yeah, humans always disobey. Not one person survives. Now, Teresa was in great pain. As a member of the Knight family, she would not easily give up on her comrades, but the enemy was the vampire ancestor. She had no confidence that she could defeat him alone. Chun Yu-sung, who had been watching the battle, sighed and walked to Teresa's side. "Little girl, there's something I want to tell you. If you're worried about how to deal with the ancestor, then the problem is easy to solve. This man named Kang Jin-hyuk, although he is shameless, despicable, and selfish, I really dislike him. But one thing I can assure you is that he is currently the only person in the world who can deal with the ancestor." With that, Chun Yu-sung turned and left. Teresa felt as if a weight had been lifted off her shoulders. She understood what Chun Yu-sung meant, so she went to Kang Jin-hyuk's side and expressed her desire to make a pact with him. Oh yeah, my fee is very expensive, you know, Kang Jin-hyuk said with a smile. "No matter how many gold coins you want, I can give it to you. But you must help me defeat the ancestor." Feeling the young woman's determination, Kang Jin-hyuk laughed and said, "All right, I'll help you." And with that, the two of them touched fists to seal the pact. As the two of them arrived at the entrance of the main hall, the smell of purple mist and magic permeated the air. Teresa was worried that it might be too arrogant to challenge the ancestor with just the two of them, but Kang Jin-hyuk just smiled. "Holy lady, sometimes, when facing a strong enemy, even an expert player doesn't have to be straightforward and tough." Teresa asked, "Then what should we do?" Kang Jin-hyuk smiled mysteriously. "He only has one requirement. No matter what happens inside, you must trust him unconditionally." The doors then opened, and they entered the main hall, walking up the long staircase. They looked up and saw the vampire ancestor. Queen Alice raised her head and said, "Ah, humans, finally here." Kang Jin-hyuk was curious. Why did Queen Alice go through such trouble to invite him here? She then shifted her position and crossed her legs. "Of course, it's because of the taste of blood. I smell something special from you." Kang Jin-hyuk was surprised. "What the hell is this?" The queen never spoke so bizarrely in the past life. Queen Alice said, "Oh, don't worry. I always been thrifty when it comes to good food. At least it will allow you to live another 100 years. Kang Jin-hyuk understood. If he is captured by Alice, his fate is to become a human-shaped drink container. He was just about to refuse, but a beam of blood passed over his face. "I didn't ask for your opinion, my little blood bag." Kang Jin-hyuk was hit, but he did not get up. Instead, he knelt down with one knee and very respectfully said, "Ancestor, I can offer you something more delicious than blood." "Something more delicious than blood? You don't think that begging for mercy now is too late, human?" Kang Jin-hyuk replied, "Sure, ancestor, the treasure I offer to you is named freedom." Hearing this, Alice no longer had a haughty expression on her face. Her heart was racing. For her, who had been exiled for over 1,000 years, these two words seemed to have magic power, but at the same time were forbidden words. What did he say? Dare to mention these two words in front of the great Alice? But Alice waved her hand to stop her subordinates, stood up and coldly opened her mouth. "Hey, human, can you take responsibility for what you just said?" "Naturally, my queen," he said, taking a purple mask out of space and putting it on his face. "Demonic human Kang Jin-hyuk, willing to serve you." Demonic humans are a special force among the awakened ones. They don't target bosses, but instead join forces with monsters to harm the awakened. They can be considered traitors on the human side. Such a character naturally makes monsters trust, but Alice still had doubts. Kang Jin-hyuk continued, "I have already communicated with the one in the 50th floor's temple, so please don't doubt my stance." The queen hesitated for a moment. 50 levels is the residence of the ancestor Dakala. Since he knew the news of the temple, the human should be a demonic human. But the next moment, blood rises from her feet. Even if he's a demonic human, what qualifications do you have to speak freedom to me? Even the ancestor Dakala doesn't dare to say this. "How can I trust you a sly and lowly human. Behind her, the blood coagulated into various colored blood soldiers. The S-class skill, Blood King Wealth. Your blood is really good. But unfortunately, the next moment, the blood spear pierced mercilessly towards Kang Jin-hyuk. Just as things looked critical, a shield appeared in front of her. It was the holy woman Teresa. The huge cross formed a shield in front of the holy knight. Skill, Divine Light Protection. Teresa shouted again. Divine Light protects. Another layer of giant shield. She clenched her teeth. Kang Jin-hyuk, stay behind me and don't come out. Alice laughed. Oh, the human knight is quite skilled after all. But this dazzling holy light is really annoying. With a delicate hand, she raised and has already coalesced into a huge and immeasurable bloodstorm. Teresa looked at the destructive blood waves, her heart shocked. But the saint was not afraid because she had a companion behind her, Kang Jin-hyuk. Teresa, remember that no matter what happens, you must unconditionally trust me. Suddenly, a merciless blade stabbed her from behind. It was Kang Jin-hyuk's +10 short blade. The one who was stabbed through is not the vampire lord, but the holy maiden Teresa. In despair, she turned back, only to see that it was her teammate Kang Jin-hyuk who had stabbed her body and thrown her aside. Kang Jin-hyuk once again respectfully saluted. I will prove to you that I am not just talking. Alice first was suspicious, then canceled the release of the skill. Interesting. You even betrayed the partner who saved your life. Come, prove it to me further. Teresa grabbed Kang Jin-hyuk's leg with one hand, biting her teeth and saying, Jin-hyuk, wasn't it said that we were going to save everyone together? But Kang Jin-hyuk paid no attention and raised a short blade. Then blood splattered. Alice laughed, laughing crazily. Nice, human, very interesting. Kang Jin-hyuk respectfully pulled out a ring from his pocket and said, my queen, in order to help you escape the boundary, I have specially prepared this item for you. A-rank item Blame's ring. As long as you temporarily seal your soul in it, you can fool the sealing boundary. Oh, sealing the soul in this way is the first time I've heard of it. Kang Jin-hyuk crouched down and summoned a magic circle. As he stood at the center, the circle quickly expanded into a giant ring. My queen, please take a look. This is the rare skill, Soul Migration, which can store your soul. For Kang Jin-hyuk, in order to achieve this situation today, he didn't know how much he had to pay. The reason he kept his level fixed at level 1 was because he wanted to learn this special skill of soul migration, a skill that only level 1 awakened players could use. He opened his arms. Come, queen! This spell can only last for 1 minute, and then it will completely disappear. Now it's up to your choice. In Alice's eyes, there was a glimpse of hope for the first time. For her, who has been imprisoned here for 1,000 years, freedom is an unimaginable luxury. She is extremely eager, but still cautious. He sends a message. Belus, my servant, I don't completely trust this human. If he has any other intentions, kill him immediately. Yes, Alice. Then the queen stepped down the steps and walked towards the spell. High heels stepping in and stretched out her fingertips, looking down. Finally, she asked, human, can I trust you? Kang Jin-hyuk, like a servant, respectfully raised his hand and said, it's my honor to serve you, queen. DD, LV1 skill sympathetic activated. The vampire queen's favorability increased. Then, along with Alice's agreement, her body changed into a spirit and was absorbed into the ring. The ring then began to speak. I didn't expect this place to be so good. I thought it would be boring. Little Kang picked up the ring. Oh yeah, great, queen. I am honored that you are so pleased with your future home. Wait, future home? What do you mean? Human, what do you mean? DD, innate ability blessing of the stars activated. Along with the system sound, a pair of armored hands supported the ground. A blonde saint knight returned from death. Welcome back, my holy lady. Yes, it's the holy lady Teresa. The skill blessing of the stars effect, if not instant death, can revive once. Cooling time is 240 hours. This self-directed and self-performed scam fooled everyone. Alice was furious. She screamed in the ring. Belus, kill that lowly human for me. The vampire butler grinds his teeth. Shameless human, dare to deceive us. Do you think you can live after doing something like this? As he said this, he gathers the devilish energy in his hands. The blood wave crashes, then it rises on both sides, like clapping. It tries to flatten Kang Jin-hyuk, but Kang Jin-hyuk lit his left hand. Using his skill, Fire Elemental, he stamps the ground. With a bang, the ground turns into a sea of flames. The sea of fire spreads all around, instantly forming a giant shield, separating the blood wave and burning it. He turns around. Holy Maiden, please go and save the hostages. Teresa acted quickly. She used her sword to cut the hostages' bindings. At the front of the battlefield, Kang Jin-hyuk was surrounded by dozens of vampire minions. The butler Belis had now changed to his long sword. Human, I don't know how you can withstand magic, but now you're finished. Kang Jin-hyuk remains calm and instead quietly mocks. Oh yeah, you still don't understand? Since Alice was sealed in the ring, you've already lost. In his hand is +10 short sword covered in black death energy. It is the SS level skill, Sword of the Tomb. Belis grinds his teeth in anger. Shameless human. When it comes to swordplay with nobles, I can only say, you've chosen the wrong path. In that moment, all the vampires rushed towards Kang Jin-hyuk. Charge! Hurry! Kill him! But the next second, they are all killed by him, their bodies lying on the ground. Just kidding. Sword of the Tomb. Even the sword Saint Chun Yusung is not his match. What were those advanced vampires? Captain Song Jigui is stunned. God, holy maiden, who is this person? Why haven't I seen him before? Teresa must make an excuse for Kang Jin-hyuk. I also just happened to come across him. I'm not very clear about his true identity. After the battle, Teresa came to Kang Jin-hyuk. She gently touches her chest and says, "It really hurt when the blade went through just now. I thought I couldn't lead everyone out anymore, but I never thought that," she says, tears streaming down her face. "Thank you, Jin-hyuk, thank you. Everyone is alive now." At the sight of Teresa's tearful smile, not just me, even Kang Jin-hyuk is stunned. You saved Teresa's life and met the requirements to obtain the SS level skill, Blessing of the Star. Kang Jin-hyuk thinks to himself, still confused by her tears. Stupid, I'm just happy. Then the camera turns, revealing a large group of reporters gathered at the entrance of the dungeon. In the midst of flashing lights, Teresa's image is engraved in everyone's mind. When everyone thought that it was Teresa who led the raid on the high-difficulty vampire fortress, she shook her head and said, "No, it wasn't me. The one who truly conquered the dungeon is this man beside me, wearing a mask."